welcome back. I'm going to now do my spoiler review of DeadPool. It was fantastic, and here is why. Love Negasonic Teenage Warhead. She was fantastic in the film, and I really liked how they used her. Moody teenager, archetype, yeah, sure, but it's part of what DeadPool makes fun of when he speaks to her. A lot of comments about her hair. It's actually pretty funny. The way she uses her powers is very creative, very ingenious. You can kind of tell she's been hanging out with the X-Men because she's got that whole team vibe mentality when she uses her powers. She always uses it to like enhance somebody else's ability, which is something that she would be learning from Colossus. So that's a really cool dynamic right there. She goes a little overkill sometimes though. Like when Colossus is fighting Angel and they're intertwined, she wants to separate them and she blows up everything. I mean, everything. Sure, Colossus survived and sure, she knew that, but she knocked herself out and Angel out in the process. A little bit of an overkill. Colossus may want to teach her a little bit of a subtleness to her A-bomb type stuff. Yeah. Colossus was awesome. He's a CGI character, but honestly, you can barely tell because he's done so well. I really liked him, and his character came off really great. He was really funny. It's like a big Boy Scout, but it works. It works really well, better than it ever has when we've seen Colossus for the brief periods of time that we have seen Colossus in X-Men movies. This is how you do Colossus. This is the only way I want to see Colossus going forward. He was awesome, and that's all there is to it, really. His back and forth with DeadPool was, I mean, it was hilarious, including the end sequence. This being a spoilers review, I can talk about that. So the end sequence is where Colossus gives the hero speech, the speech in which he tells, DeadPool what it means to be a hero and how you don't wake up every day just being a hero, a 24-hour job. You don't brush your teeth a hero and go to sleep a hero, wake up a hero. No, it's these moments in life that test your character, and you need to surpass them and rise to the occasion. He's in the middle of this speech because DeadPool has a gun on his enemy, and he's about to blow his enemy's brains out. So Colossus appeals to DeadPool's sense of heroics by going into this hero speech. Of course, halfway through it, DeadPool blows the guy's brains out, and Colossus vomits at the sight of it. But the way it plays out, it's hilarious. And that's the kind of dynamic that they have, and I hope to see them together again. DeadPool himself was fantastic. The costume, I mean, it fits Ryan Reynolds perfectly. I've never seen a character, except for maybe Colossus in the same film, that looks so close to his comic book roots that it's literally as if they pulled him out of a comic book and threw him on the screen. That's how close it is. In fact, I've read through a lot of DeadPool comics in the last couple of days, just trying to catch up on the character, because admittedly so, I was not a huge DeadPool fan. He works better in the film. If you're a fan of DeadPool in the comics, you got something to look forward to, because he works better in this movie. He is funnier, and in motion, he works better. So this is just amazing how I can honestly say, hey, this movie is better than the comic. It's really that good. And Ryan Reynolds, I mean, I don't know about Green Lantern, but he definitely nailed DeadPool. I mean, all the way, nonstop, gag after gag. I mean, it was spot on. I can't say anything negative about his portrayal here. Nothing. Zero negative. Nothing bad. Gina Carano was awesome. Okay, she plays Angel, super strong mutant, or mutated human. Not real clear on that one, but this character is super strong. Goes toe to toe with Colossus. Knocks Colossus straight across the yard, the shipping yard they're fighting in. That's in the trailer. But what's not in the trailer is it's an epic battle after that. I mean, epic. It goes on for a while, and they go through cars, and they through walls, and they're throwing each other everywhere, and it looks really great. At one point, Gina gets thrown into this complex or something to that effect, and one of her boobs pops out, bare boob, but you don't see it because Colossus goes like this because he's obstructing it from his view because he's polite and he's gentlemanly. So he goes, no, oh, you're beautiful. Yes, no, and then she puts it back in and says, oh, that's so sweet, and then punches him in the balls. So that kind of humor, and it works perfectly. Rated R. Now that there is a rated R comic book movie that has made a shit ton of money, over 100 million on its opening weekend, well over 100 million. I believe it was about 129 last count, $129 million. So that's just opening weekend. So they know this thing's going to be a mega hit. So the concern, of course, is that now Hollywood will say, well, now everything has to be rated R. I don't think they'll go that route. So for all the people who are concerned about that, I don't think that's what we're going to get. I don't think we're going to see an R-rated X-Men movie. I don't think we're going to see an R-rated everything. But what this does do is it opens up the possibility of R ratings for comic book heroes who really need it. So let's talk about the direction here, okay? The film is wonderfully directed. Everything's awesome. Everything flows. The production quality, the values. You can tell everyone was doing their job. Everyone was giving it their all. And isn't that the job of a director? To make sure everyone else is doing their job to their utmost capacity and that everything gets brought together as a cohesive whole. If that is the case, Tim Miller did a fantastic job, especially since this is his first film. His second film, I'm betting, is going to be DeadPool 2. Let's get down to it as far as speaking about film purely as an art form. The cinematography here was very good. What do I mean by that? Everything was framed well. The choreography was fantastic. Okay, but a lot of films have good choreography that you don't see because the cinematography sucks. Or the choreography is so bad the cinematographer tries to hide it. In this case, it all works out very well. I can see every punch, every kick, every bit of action. So choreography, fight choreography, and the cinematography married beautifully in this film. The soundtrack was awesome. They got really great music that's funny at the right and appropriate moments. Everything from DMX to Wham. I mean, it's really good stuff. And they incorporate it into the jokes, kind of, and it just works really well in a meta level. At the end of the film, DeadPool pops up. You gotta wait till after the credits, and he pulls a Ferris Bueller. Comes out in his bathrobe, tells you to go home, that the movie's over. But he does drop one bit of information that is like awesome. And that is that they are going to go ahead with DeadPool 2. Of course, when they filmed this, they didn't know that for sure, but Ryan Reynolds is putting a lot of faith that this is going to do well. And all indication is that it's going to. In fact, at the time of my recording this, the movie has been greenlit. What is not for sure is whether or not Cable is going to be in the movie. They're saying he's going to be in the movie. I really think he's going to, because if you know anything about DeadPool, you know that him and Cable are like peanut butter and jelly. Well, maybe not peanut butter and jelly. I mean, they don't get along all that well, but they work well together, and I want to see them on screen. Not to mention that Cable is one of my favorite characters in all of X-Men, and I can't wait to see him. So originally I told you that my rating for this movie was an 8.5. It's going to stick at about an 8.5. I can't quite bring it up to a 9, and admittedly so, I'm a hard grader, but I can't bring it up to a 9 because it does have some flaws. I docked it half a point because there is a scene at the end which I could almost forgive, but I keep going back to it, in which he protects his girlfriend, he being DeadPool, by putting her in a glass type of implementation, some sort of like, it's almost like a glass coffin. And he literally flips her off of the side of what I really think is a helicarrier, a shield helicarrier. Though they don't call it that, of course. So she flips through the air, lands, a big ass chunk of rock falls on her. Colossus removes that rock over to bring her out of the thing, and somehow she survives that without even so much as a scratch. Not knocked out, nothing. It was just in a movie that did such a great job of making the unbelievable, of suspending my disbelief. All of a sudden I was like, yeah, right, whatever. You know, so that really matters to me. That they just slacked on that one little detail. They could have handled that differently. That's a very steep penalty for that one little scene. Well, the rest of the loss of points really has to do with the villains. So the villains do work out really well. You got Ajax and you got Angel, and they're really good villains. Ajax is sadistic, and I mean, you want to hate him, but I don't know anything about him. He's just basically like, haha, I'm evil, I shall twirl my mustache now. So we don't really develop him, though he is quite evil. We don't develop him. We know absolutely nothing about Angel, except she's totally hot and she kicks ass. So underdeveloped villains, which is a huge deal in these movies. A lot of these comic book movies get the villain wrong, and so did DeadPool. They got the right team together, but they didn't develop why are the villains so villainous, what are their end goals, nothing. No development there at all. So I will have to dock them some points for that. So an 8.5, that still stands. That's what this movie is. However, you must go out and see it if you haven't already seen it. There are plenty of reviews on YouTube already, and it's just, if you're a comic book fan, you need to see it. If you want to laugh, this is a super funny movie. Go see it. If you're an action fan, go see it. I mean, if you like movies, go see it. I mean, because you're going to get something out of it. There is something here for everyone. Thank you, and till next time, this is the Neo Priest saying, cinnamon and sugar. Thank you, and until next time, this is the Neo Priest saying, I am the man who sold the world. Thank you, until next time, this is the Neo Priest saying,